In this video, I will show you how to properly build your chicken coop, and I will also show you a little trick that I use, or I'd say I always use it, to separate them from youngest to oldest. For this method to work, obviously you will have to make your animal trap out of a basket, which requires one basket and one stick. Then you also need something grainy because chickens like to consume grain, of course. I personally use flax grain, but obviously you can use whatever you have at hand. Simply place your trap on the ground with the grain already inside of it, preferably around the area where you last seen chickens, and simply camp in that same location or try to come back to it later. If you leave that trap overnight and plan on coming back to it the next day, I strongly advise that you check on that trap every single day until you capture something. The reason you want to do that is simply because once you capture your chicken will then have basically a timer for one full day inside of it, and once that timer is out, it will basically die. So imagine you capture something, but then you come back to it 3 days later, you'll be coming back to a dead corpse and not a perfectly healthy chicken. Which, I mean, if you trap animals just to simply consume them, I guess that doesn't really make a big difference anyways. But if you plan on raising them, then obviously I would strongly suggest that you keep them alive and breathing. If you capture your chickens only and there is no rooster, your chickens will still lay eggs, but the process is going to be very slow. However, once you have chickens and a rooster, that process increases on a very significant level. Basically, try to have a rooster as well, but not a big deal if you don't have one. That's what I'm saying. So let's talk about how I separate my chickens. I built myself this chicken coop that essentially leads underground, so every time I have new baby chicks, they go through this little hole which basically traps them down there. They can go through, but they cannot come back out based on the design of this thing. If we go around the chicken coop, here's how you get inside of it. As you can tell, they have plenty of food down here to basically keep eating and growing. And once these chicks grow and start laying their eggs, it'll be easier for me to keep track of their generation, because at generation 10, that's when they will behave normal around me and not get spooked. Meanwhile, I will be using the ones outside for meat and feathers, and then just simply rotate them as days go by. And finally, one last thing to how all this going, all you simply need is a saw made out of copper. And the reason you'll need a saw is simply for the planks to make their nests and feeding area. And of course, don't forget to stack on grains as well. You'll need them.